So Google is building its own AI chips. Microsoft is building its own AI chips. Meta just cut a $60 billion deal with AMD to build custom AI chips. And yesterday, Andy Jassy published Amazon's shareholder letter, and it basically reads like a declaration of war against NVIDIA, backed by $200 billion in cash. Everyone is trying to ditch NVIDIA at the same time, and the numbers here are insane. Amazon is committing roughly $200 billion in capex this year, up from $132 billion last year, which is a 52% increase in a single year. And look, companies throw around big numbers all the time. But Jassy said something in this letter that made me sit up. He said, "We're not investing $200 billion in capex in 2026 on a hunch. That's not corporate speak. That's a man telling Jensen Huang to sleep with one eye open." And here's the thing most people missed. Amazon's custom chip division, the one nobody talks about, Tranium, Graviton, Nitro, that business just hit a $20 billion annualized run rate. It doubled from $10 billion in a single quarter. Jassy himself said if they spun this out and sold chips to third parties, it would be a $50 billion standalone semiconductor company. Bro, Amazon accidentally built one of the largest chip businesses on Earth, and nobody noticed because everyone was too busy watching Jensen Huang do leather jacket presentations. Their AI services alone crossed $15 billion in annualized revenue. Bedrock, their inference platform, processed more tokens in Q1 of this year than in every prior year combined, and they compressed their free cash flow from $38 billion down to $11 billion to fund all of this. That's a 71% drop in free cash flow. Amazon is basically lighting money on fire right now because they believe whoever owns the silicon owns the future. But why would Amazon do this? Why spend $200 billion to build chips when you can just buy them from NVIDIA? And the answer is margins. NVIDIA's Blackwell GPUs cost somewhere around $6,000 to produce and sell for $30,000 to $40,000. That's an 81% gross margin. Every time Amazon buys an NVIDIA GPU, Jensen Huang basically takes 80 cents of every dollar and does a little dance. And so Amazon did what Amazon always does. They said, "We'll build it ourselves." Tranium 2 is completely sold out. Tranium 3, the new one, is nearly fully subscribed and it's barely shipping. Tranium 4 is 18 months away and customers are already reserving capacity. And Jassy claims this will save Amazon tens of billions per year and deliver several hundred basis points of margin advantage. OpenAI committed over $100 billion to AWS over 8 years specifically for Tranium compute. Anthropic is training Claude on Tranium. Amazon already pulled this exact move with Intel, by the way. They built their own CPU called Graviton, and today 98% of their top 1,000 customers use it. Intel got replaced in their own house. That's not a chip company. That's a pattern. And it's not just Amazon. Google owns 25% of all global AI compute capacity, mostly through custom TPUs. That's the equivalent of 5 million NVIDIA H100s that Google built without NVIDIA. Microsoft is deploying its Maya 200 accelerator. Meta is building 4 generations of its own MTIA chips on RISC-V architecture. Custom ASIC shipments are growing at 45% this year versus 16% for GPUs. The entire industry looked at NVIDIA's 81% margins and collectively said no. And so every trillion-dollar cloud company is now vertically integrating everything, from the power grid to the silicon to the model running on top of it. Amazon added 4 gigawatts of power capacity last year and plans to double that by the end of next year. They have an internal project called Houdini, which is basically factory-assembled modular data centers shipped like Amazon packages. My man is applying his logistics empire to semiconductor warfare. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you NVIDIA is dead. They still hold 80 to 90% of the AI accelerator market. They have $1 trillion in confirmed orders through 2027. CUDA, their software ecosystem, has 4 million developers and 20 years of tooling baked into every AI workflow on the planet. That moat is real, but here's what's also real. NVIDIA's dominance was built on the assumption that nobody else would bother building their own chips. And now everyone is bothering. Every major customer NVIDIA has is simultaneously building the thing that replaces NVIDIA. That doesn't kill the company tomorrow, but it means the era of 81% margins is borrowed time. We thought the AI war was going to be fought by researchers in hoodies arguing about transformer architectures, but the actual war is being fought by logistics companies with $200 billion budgets bludgeoning each other over who controls the sand that the chips are made from. It's not about who has the smartest model. It's about who owns the atoms underneath it. Subscribe so the chaos makes sense, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.